Monster Camp, day 2. On the elevator going to dark hour haunted house. Let's go. Day number 2. All right, Monster Camp day 2. I'm gonna show you guys. This is first thing in the morning. This is last looks. So this is 1 hour to mess with your sculpt before we mold. So let me show you what everyone's looks like because they're pretty close to completed. That is Alan's. I really like this one too. Everyone's looks really good.
He has to work today. Because he doesn't like marshmallows? It's just...
And it's funny, I'm not even that big of a marshmallow.
It's the final countdown. We're doing finishing touches. I just filled in kind of behind my ears because it was going to be kind of a easy bubble lock points. Just got back behind those bad boys. Actually made ear holes too where I can cut the ear holes out.
I'm looking. I don't have any of my sculpture showing, any of my form showing, except the eyes. I Vaselined those. I'm down all the way as far as the clay goes. No plaster's going to seep underneath. I have Vaselined my board. I've pledged my sculpture. I'm pretty much ready to go. Oh, look, a brush.
Get a room, you two.
Of your board so that you can kind of stay in place. Anywhere that you have a deep crevice, you might want to give that a little push with the brush to make sure that you force out air and you force plaster into it. Behind those teeth could be bad air bubbles if I'm not careful. Or jabbing your plaster on and you're really wiping it on with the brush, you could also damage the sculpture. Everything I'm worried about covering, I have coverage on. There's raw clay back here. I'm not worried about that. That's under the chin. So I'm gonna build up here. While 20 packs from Harbor Freight. I can load it up, put it at the bottom, and pull that up and stick it to the side. What I have to do is I have to be mentally keeping track of how thick is my mold. Where are my thin spots? That's why you're going to be better at molding your sculpture than anybody else because you're more familiar with it. So I don't know if we covered it, but I think we will. He'll cover it when he does a plaster demo next. But we let that sit for about 2 minutes with the water in it, so that the water absorbs into that powder plaster.
Detail.
You have to make
Generally, it picks up detail a little bit better. So we use it for prosthetics, a lot things like that. Things
It's
that
like
you
smaller
want really
scale.
nice, fine edges.
So, UltraCal is fine for that, and UltraCal can be baked. That's another big difference. You put a hydrocal mold in the oven for a foam latex prosthetic, it'll fall apart on you because it holds more air bubbles in it, it's not as dense, and those tend to explode when you heat them up.
Bummer.
Does it have to be pretty? No. When you're a professional, if you're trying to get a job in the effects field, they will judge you on your molds, not your sculpting. Because it's much more likely that they're going to have a pro sculptor come in and sculpt something and then make you mold it. But the way your molds look is a kind of reflection on the care that you take. This is engineering. This is not art. It's material science. It is, I have to stack it the right way. I have to ensure a proper thickness. This is engineering. This is science. So it is quite often you'll have a really good artist who is not a good mold maker. Luckily, I'm not that good of an artist.
For a first batch, for like the loose, very thinned out, detail heavy one, we look for a texture called cracked earth, which have you ever seen like the bottom of a dry riverbed or anything like that, where it's been saturated with water but it starts cracking? That's the kind of texture you're looking for. So whenever you're pouring in your plaster, you want to try and get it as evenly distributed across the bottom so that you don't have a giant hill in the center that isn't getting that texture. You can see around the edges here, that's kind of the look we're going for, but as it's setting, more of that water comes up, meaning I need to put more plaster into it. Like sometimes it'll look like, okay, that's about right, and then water pools in, starts pooling in, it means I need to pour more plaster in that spot because it was just a little thin.
So I'm trying to be gentle.
That's fine.
It is until I hit you in the face with it.
The longer you myself in the face, the less time you have to make your mold. Some people, they'll be over there and they're mixing it for 5 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. Load that brush up like a shovel. Almost use it like a scoop.
Are you gonna talk to yourself?
I'll just dub it in.
Everybody in the room?
Yes.
Okay. It is time for us to go to lunch. Remember, get yourself a beverage out of this fridge for lunch.
Mine's all clean. It's all clean. Beast man. Yep. So it's better if you have the handle.
We're gonna head for lunch.
Yes.
Same back time, same back down. I want the most strength I can get from that on that mold.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, look at that.
Convenient.
Free.
Nice.
Yeah. The other ones came out with no problems. That's how it is. They don't like it.
It's just spackle.
Excuse me.
And it cures really fast. It's mixed thick to begin with. But then it's going to cure really fast because it's up against that plaster. And I don't see any more. I see one more on my scope. But I got to do this to see them.
Porcelain doll face and probably the baby can probably just get poured straight up to the top and then call it done. But a few of the others with deep ears, I'll actually show you here on Alan's Beast Man. The best thing to do there.
I'm calling that one the Wild Man of Borneo.
Wild Man of Oreo?
Borneo.
Wild man of Oreos. That's thin. Steve, be careful with this. That's
Very thin.
very thin.
Because Alan has deep ears on there that don't come up to the surface, if we just filled it straight up, there's a good chance that air will get caught up in there. So what I'm gonna do now, when I have just very little latex in the mask, pour a little bit in there. That way I know latex is getting in there, getting at least a coat on there. And then as I fill it up, I'll do it again a couple of times to try and weed out any air.
Perfect.
But yeah, but right now, at least I know, the very least, there will be a thin layer already on there. Just slowly pour more latex into it.
You grab the latex out of the car.
Now that I'm close to where those ears are, without going all the way up to the surface though, hold it to where the ears are kind of angled
looks really
upwards
good.
so that any air in there can't escape.
What's draining?
It's chin.
Oh, I see. Are you just trying to get it to even out so it's not too heavy down there?
Yep.
You want me to wrap this around the bucket?
Yes, whatever.
Beautiful. It won't flap in the air or anything.
Got it. That.